stream, in live stream, doing the stuffs and the things in the live streams, pulling up my tabs because I didn't pull them up beforehand because, I mean, if you've watched enough of the beginning of my lives, you know me by now. None of this should be a surprise to you. In the live stream, because it's a live stream, because that's how we do live streams, doing the things in the live streams. The live streams talking about the gods and the not gods and the theisms and the atheisms and the whatnots and the stuffs and the things and the stuffs and the things. Yeah. Doing all the great stuff. Is there a God? How do we know there's a God? I would like there to be a God. I say that a lot in these videos, in live streams. And I mean it. I would like there to be something else out there. I would just, like a little bit more reason to believe there's something else out there. You know? Because it's just, it ain't there. The evidence just really isn't there, in my opinion. I'd like it to be there. And if I'm wrong, I would love to be, shown how I am wrong. But it has not happened thus far. But I've only been doing this content for like a couple of years, so like it's a lot, and that's not like sarcasm. It's like it's just been a couple of years. Like it's a lot. There's still time. There could still be reason to believe in a God that I'm just not seeing, and maybe that's my fault. It's just why I need help. Maybe that's all this content is. It's not, but maybe that's all this content is. Just like a cry for help. Someone please let there be a God. Come and save me. Not really, but I would like to believe that there's something. If nothing else, I just like talking about this stuff because I'm weird like that. Don't ask me why. I just like to talk about this stuff. And I like to challenge people's worldviews. I feel like my lips bleeding. Because no matter what you believe, you should be able to back it up. You shouldn't be believing something just based on faith or without good reason. You should have something to back it up, especially if you're trying to push it on other people. If you're trying, whether it be by force or just trying to be like, hey, I have this religion, you should check it out. You should have something to back it up. You should have a leg to stand on when it comes to these things, when it comes to backing up your beliefs. And if you don't, why should I believe it? Why should anyone believe it? And we have a lot of people believing all kinds of weird things and doing all kinds of terrible things with all kinds of different beliefs. Not everyone is doing terrible things with their beliefs, but it's just, there's no evidence for all these, different belief systems in the supernatural and whatnot. And yet they have such a huge impact on the world. And it's like, hey, maybe we should take a step back and analyze this stuff. Hi, hello. Do you play Steal a Brain Rot? Can't say I do. Sounds like something I would do. All about that brain rot. Not really, kind of. Sometimes. I got a comment on one of my posts from a long time ago. I'm genuinely heartbroken by most of these comments. So many things I see what people have gone through being a Christian is saddening, but it isn't what Christianity is. I pray you find the true doctrines. What are the true doctrines? Ask any Christian and they'll probably give you slightly different answers. Not every person agrees on every single part of Christianity. But, it's oh, no, they're bad. I don't like that, so that's like the wrong form of Christianity. Then what's the right form of Christianity, and how do we know? And how do we even know that Christianity is the right religion? How do we even know that there's a God or a right religion to begin with? Just how do we know that we're not just all exchanging and fighting over myths and fairy tales and imaginary friends? And that's not said to be insensitive or offensive. That's a genuine question. How do we know? And if anyone from any particular religion is offended by that, hey, get better at defending your religion. See this as a call to action. Because your religion is not being very well defended. Do something about it. Fight for your religion. Not with swords or fists or anything, but, academically, with words. Let's try to turn some hearts the right way. Hello. You speak for Christ, the lights of... I don't know why I'm trying to read this without my glasses. I'm sorry, hold on. You speak for Christ, the light of Christ is in your home now. Cool. If he wants to manifest and actually show up and talk, that'd be cool too. It's just like he's just like this vague, weird light thing that people associate with all kinds of different things. It's the same feeling, that people associate with all kinds of different other things, even things that aren't religions or gods. This feeling inside, oh, that's the warmth of Christ, or it's just the beats of the music or whatever. But it's how do you know? How do you know? I feel like he could do a little bit better. I don't know why he's really trying to play hide and seek with us or whatever. Maybe God does stay in heaven because he too lives in fear of what he's created. Who knows? Who knows? Christ is on the heart. How do you know? How do you know? That's the big question for today's live stream. How do we know? How do we know? I've gotten plenty of different claims from Christians, many of them contradicting claims about Christianity from different Christians, and then a bunch of claims from other people from other religions. How do we know? How do we know? Because a lot of them use some of the same arguments. Well, we don't know how else it could have been, therefore it has to have been a God, therefore it has to be my God. Or, oh, I know it just because I get this feeling. Well, so do the Christians, so do the Muslims, so does the atheist at their favorite concert. So it's like, how do you know? I need more than feels and fallacies. Personally, do not eat my puzzle. I know we need to finish that puzzle. I need more than feels and fallacies. And I would like there to be a God. I would like there to be something else out there. I'm hoping there's something else out there. You want to come on? You come say hi to the people? You come say hi to the people? You don't usually like it when I pick you up. There you go. No, it took hers. You're a big kitten. She's so happy. You are so happy. You need to read the Bible. It has everything you're looking for in it. I've read 3 different versions and listened to an audiobook of another. I don't know, maybe I missed something. I don't know. I've also read the Quran. I've been recommended that book. I've also read the Bhagavad Gita. I've been recommended that book. The Tao Te Ching, the Satanic Bible. I've listened to an audiobook of the Book of Mormon. I read a Crash Course Beginner's Guide to Buddhism. They didn't really have the answers or anything to really back up their stuff, I do vibe with the Eastern religions a little bit better. I'll admit, those ones, I like those a little bit better. But at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter what I like or don't like. It matters what's true. There's plenty of things that are true that I don't like. Children die of cancer every day. That's awful. I don't like that, but it's true, So it doesn't really matter how much I like it or dislike it. I want to know how true it is and how... I want to know how to determine its truth. Christ did something that no one else did. He did not fight and was sentenced to death, but he did something that no one else did. He was resurrected. There were other gods in mythology that were resurrected, but also, so your God has a unique story point. So what? What does that do for us? Hello. Even if we want to say Jesus is the only God that resurrected that was killed and resurrected, so what? You have a unique story point. So what? What does that do for us? I can't. I'm surprised you haven't gotten down yet. I'm so happy. Kitten cuddles. So, you know, you got a unique story point. That's cool. That's cool. You know, there's some other religions that have some unique story points. I think those are pretty cool. You know. But what does it do for us? What does that unique story point do for us, really, at the end of the day? Tell me one other God, and don't confuse Christ with Christian religions. Tell me one other God. Let's say, like I said, let's say he's the only God that ever did it. So what? That was my question. So what? And don't mix up Christ with Christian religions. Christianity is based on Christ. Christianity is following Christ's teachings, whatever that means to you. So you can't really separate the two. The huge curling controversy, I'm going to be honest, I have no idea what you're talking about. I'm getting kitten cuddles. You don't usually sit in my chair with me. Yeah, I mean, did something happen in the Olympics? Something crazy go down in the Olympics that I'm not aware of? I haven't been watching. Don't really care, frankly. That's just me. You know, that's not that's not a hill I'm willing to die on. I'm just not interested. Religions have ruined his name. Well, it's possible, but, you know, also the Bible doesn't really do a great job with his name either. But yeah, I mean, I definitely remember that was part of my deconstruction process when I was leaving Christianity. That's how I was. That was when I became non-denominational Christian. I'm like, all these religions, all these different denominations of Christianity have the wrong idea. They pervert the idea of Jesus. But then I looked more at the Bible and I'm just like, maybe, you know, because I love this God. You know, I had this belief in a God who's like all loving, and like the Bible's, you know, just kind of like not really it. So then I got into this mindset of, oh, so all religions just kind of mess up this idea of like the true God, and that's when I became just a theist. And then one day I realized that I was following a God that I had just made up loosely based on the Christian religion that I had no real reason to believe in. Canada was caught cheating and curling. I mean, they should. I don't know what the rules and regulations are of the Olympics, but you know, action should be taken for that. A girl stared at me for months and just acted like it never happened. Was she actually staring at you? You gotta make sure you didn't like misinterpret anything. Even philosopher, if he was, did something that no one else did. He was resurrected. I didn't say anything about a philosopher. And also, I asked, so what? See, this is one of the reasons that this is honestly, this is one of the reasons I do these live streams and I make the content that I make. Because I want to help Christians, as a small part. I want to help Christians and people of other religions and people who believe in a God strengthen their ability to defend their faith. Because so far, what we have to defend the proposed religions is sad. Very, very sad. I have asked you multiple times, so what? In response to, he was the one who resurrected. I've asked you multiple times. So what? Even though he's not the only God, the only person in mythology who's resurrected. So what? Have you dived into other religious beliefs as an interest? My friend is Buddhist, and obviously I don't accept her worldview, but it's such a different than Christianity I grew up with. I really like Buddhism, honestly. I haven't done a very deep dive into other religions. You know, Christianity is still, you know, the main one that I dig into. But I have, you know, touched on other religions. I like the Eastern religions a lot better than the Western religions, and I kind of like Buddhism. I wouldn't call myself a Buddhist or wouldn't, like, you know, necessarily promote it. But, you know, there's a couple teachings and practices that I've even implemented in my own life to help me manage my anxiety and help me fall asleep at night, you know? So, I like it. I like it. I think it's worth, you know, studying and stuff. You can learn some good things from it. No, I didn't. She kept staring and staring, and I caught her staring once, and she and I smiled, and now she acts like nothing happened. It hurts. I'm sorry. It'd be like that sometimes. Sometimes people are just weird. Christ, no, love, war, gold, Christmas, religion, love, gold, war. This is a big problem. So my question was, why does it matter if Jesus was the only God or being in mythology or religions or whatever that resurrected? That was my question. Why does it matter if he's the only one that ever did it? Hey, Doom. Is that Mama? Do you hear Mama? How's it going? Taylor just got home. 17th of February, the year of the fire horse started. And if you had a really bad year, now it's gonna start getting better. 17th of February, the year of the fire horse started. And if you had a really bad year, now it's going to start getting better. Fuck, I hope so. Man, we've had some trials that we've had to fight through this year. It's been fun. So yeah, holy shit, I hope so. I've never wanted to believe in that stuff more in my life. Let's go. Year of the Fire Horse. Is that because it's the Lunar New Year? I just looked at my calendar and it says it's the Lunar New Year. Or is it like Chinese New Year or something? Pretty sure Chinese astrology isn't a reliable predictor of how things are going to go. Shush, Doom. I need hope. This first month and a half has been hard. I need hope. Do you know about how long the Roman Empire was beheading Christians? Free Life, my question was, assuming Jesus was the only God being Christian, you know, or God being or religious figure or mythology figure or whatever, to resurrect, so what? That was the question that I asked. And that I have been continuing to ask. And for the people who had a great year, it's going to get bad because 2025 was a snake year and had different energy. Well, you know what? Yeah, I've had a rough go. So hopefully I'm on the first half of that. I mean, good luck to anyone who's on, you know, the latter end. You know, hopefully their, you know, stuff doesn't get too bad. But like, you know, it'd be nice if my stuff kind of eased up a little bit. You know, I can share some of. You know, I don't need like all the luck or like all the goodness. I can share, but like, you know, just a few breaks here and there would be cool. You know. my expectations for this year is that things are going to be really, really, really bad. But after the midterm elections, it's going to put an end to all of that. Maybe. And for the people who had a great year, it's going to be... I already read that, sorry. Though the rest of the world isn't going to fare so well, it's probably going to keep getting worse. Yeah. Do you remember Zelda Ocarina of Time? I do. I never played the Legend of Zelda games. Just confession, you know, I never played those games. I've heard good things. Played quite a few Mario games and Pokemon. Never got into Zelda. I mean, don't ask me why. I just kind of like didn't have it growing up. I guess, you know, just kind of wasn't one of them games that I had. People aren't at a breaking point yet, but we're close to a global revolution. Wouldn't surprise me. Wouldn't surprise me. We're all having a good time. We're already seeing the beginning of it in places like Nepal and Madagascar. Fucking... I saw headlines coming out. I keep seeing headlines of like, studies show that the Trump's tariffs for this year were paid for by Americans and not other countries. And I'm just sitting here like, what? No. How could this be? Tariffs operated as tariffs? Who could have ever foreseen this happening? And it's like a headline. It's like a show, like, you know, it's the American people who were paying for it. It's like, no. What? I can't believe it. Oh, if only like anyone would have known that. If only there were people screaming about this for the past year. Oh well. The Roman Empire made up its religions orthodox as it pleased. And this religion loved war power. Hey, Free Life, assuming that Jesus was the only God, religious figure, mythology figure to have risen from the dead, so what? Do you think there will be a World War III? Possibly. Probably. Humans like to kill each other and not get along and be fucking children about everything, so probably. Though with all revolutions, there's going to be a massacre like we saw in Iran where the government massacred 40,000 plus people and injured hundreds of thousands. Yep. Can't forget Darfur as well. Lebanon is getting worse, Drew. Yeah. The world's pretty great. Wish I could do something about it. You know, I just gotten into this stage of like, not necessarily giving up, but it's just like, yeah, that thing over there catches on fire sometimes. We're dealing with it. You know, it's like it's not gonna be fine. But it's like, yeah, it's just like, yeah, yeah. You know, more kids get gunned down in schools. Yeah, it sucks. That unfortunately happens sometimes, and apparently nobody's doing anything about it. So it's going to keep happening, and because I don't know, you know, and I don't really know what we can do about that. I wish there was something we can do about that. Hey, Mama, how you feeling? If you think this stuff doesn't work, it does work in ways you can't imagine. We all have energy in us because of all of the year we were born, and in some years support the energy and others don't. I hope you're right. Truly, I do. Even as everything at large crashes and burns, there are still places and areas that are still moving forward. Those are the bastions of light in the dark, and hope still exists, even if we must tread through the sea of blood to grasp it. Solid. Yeah. You know, it's just... I don't know. I don't know if it's like a level of defeatism or whatever, but it's just like... I mean, you reach a point, and I hate this, where the blood-soaked headlines just become normal. and you almost become numb to them. And there starts being a feeling of hopelessness. Because what the hell can you do about it? What can any of us do about it at the end of the day? Because humans just are children. We are primitive creatures, and I will stand by that. Humans are incredibly primitive creatures. We just are easily angered, easily provoked. We fight like children. World leaders would rather fight and murder their civilians and the civilians of other countries than sit down and fucking get along. And I don't know what to do about that. Drew, where do we go from here? London has no life. I have no idea. There are points in history where the line between pessimism and realism blurs until they're almost the same thing. But the key difference is remembering not to forget how strong we are and how far humanity has had to come. That is fair. That is fair. I can respect that. Just one day at a time. Just surviving. I've honestly been tuning out. I'm going to be completely transparent. I've been tuning out a lot of the world recently just because of shit that I've been having to deal with in my personal life. I really just had to like tunnel vision and fight like hell in my personal life to where I really, and it sounds selfish and it kind of is and I feel bad, but I really just haven't had room to worry about like what country is on fire or whose citizens are being murdered. And I know that sounds shitty, but it's just like life becomes so overwhelming. I can't look at the news right now. You know, I don't know if that makes me a shitty person or not. Anybody who was born in 1990 to 2002 is a horse year born, and this is a horse year. This is going to be the best year of their lives. Fuck yeah, I was born in 97. Let's go. Yeah, a lot of people are hitting their limits. If the Roman Empire didn't have supreme control over religions, it would have beheaded forever by two Christians. Religion foresell the Roman rules. Hey, Free Life. Assuming Jesus is the only character, the only God, religious character, mythology character, whatever, to have resurrected, so what? Then people keep talking about religion. What about life in it, Drew? It's not selfish, you're just human. You have priorities, and taking care of yourself has to be done before you can take care of others. Yeah, my oxygen mask is not fucking on right now. It's not secure. I'm fucking just like, hey, I know you're being attacked, but I'm having a fucking stroke on the ground. So just give me a minute to like, get my affairs in order before I can. In fairness, before I can stare at the headlines and get upset about it, knowing that I can't do anything about it anyway. You know? Like, it's, yeah. So definitely just trying to keep my own boat afloat. Because, there's nothing I can do without that. Because, I do activism. And, I fight for certain causes and whatnot. But, like, I don't know. If you were born in 1997, you're an ox year born. My sister is also an ox year born. She had a great year. You must have had a great year, 2025. I did not. This life is a fake death. For the truth, this life is a fake death. Was that like an answer to my question, finally? How does that answer my question? For the truth, this life is fake death. So his death didn't matter. He didn't even die. He really didn't even die because he got back up 2 days later like nothing happened. He's fine. Just ask yourself one question. Why are you here? I have no fucking idea. In war, the absolute most useful thing you can do is to stay alive. If you can't fight now, prepare and survive until you find an opportunity to stand back up. I can respect that. Hey, what's up, Julian? Can you fight? Physically, no. I'm not. You know, like, I don't really have the fucking strength to do any of that. But, like, going through some mental battles, you know, in the mental trenches these days. What can you do? I can sit here and, like, verbally, you know, fight, you know, for my safe spot behind the screens, or where the conflicts don't touch me. I can say, hey, this conflict is bad. For open your eyes before the paradise. Okay. Don't worry if you didn't have a good year. This year is going to be different, and it has started on 17th of February and not January, because the lunar year energy changes according to the Chinese lunar year. So that's what I thought, because I looked at my calendar, and it's the lunar new year tomorrow. So there you go. It's going to be great. Everything's going to be great. Everything's going to be great. Everything, I don't want to be a part of this team. Sorry I'm late. Hello, my hoopy friends. Hey, Eric. How's it going? How's your Valentine? Valentine's Day was I had the evening off with Taylor. She picked up Olive Garden on her way home, so we had some Olive Garden. Played some video games with our daughter. It's pretty solid. She gave me a nice card that made me cry, you know. Looking for something that can't be found. Aren't we all? Aren't we all? Dude, I think my taste buds have changed a little bit. I tried the Milky Ways in that thing. They're actually pretty good. Never really liked Milky Ways. How old am I? I'm 28. I am 28 years old. Yeah, it was Snickers who messed up the puzzle. She keeps going after the pieces and eating them and stuff. If you hear clicking, I have a fidget cube because I need it. Because fidget. You're still on my lap. Oh my good kitten. But can it be felt? Who knows? What work do you do? I'm a life insurance broker. I just started. It's a lot of work getting started, but you know, I'm hanging in there. You know, the snake and horse are completely different animals, and horse is a very fast-moving animal. So this year, no matter what year you were born, things are gonna go fast, either fast good or fast bad. I mean, the past like 6 years have already like flown by in a blink. So like, I'm kind of ready to teleport to my 80s. Not gonna lie. I like to fidget with rocks. I have a small rock collection. You can't reach it. And there's a cat on me.
There's a cat on you.
Doom, I have a rock collection. I have a box that has rocks in it. I want to show you, but there's a cat on my lap, and my wife is short. And the rocks. It's a heavy box on a tall shelf. It's a shoebox that I've had since like kindergarten, so it's beaten and worn, so like you have to be careful when taking it down. And it's only part of my rock collection. I have some other rocks elsewhere, but you know, it's like the bulk of it.
I have a seashell collection.
You do have a seashell collection.
I love seashells.
I am in 1993 born. I am a rooster. Nice. Can you stand next to you for a second? I want to see. Can she stand next to you for a second? I want to see your girl, if she wants to. I also have 2 pieces of brass. No idea what they're from, but they're thick and go clink when you hit them together. I'd love that. Yeah, I have this, like a proper like fidget cube, and then I also have This thing's really fun too. It's this, and it like spins. If you can hold on to it, it spins.
I got you both of those.
It spins. It's like great. My hands are a little slick right now, but it's great. You're not going to like hurt yourself or hurt anybody, are you? Nah, I'm past that shit. I'm about 3 years since I legitimately considered taking my own life. And that's my record, you know, and my previous record before that was 3 years. And then like before that, it was like not 3 years, not even close. But you know, so I'm doing a lot better these days on that front. So, you know, I'm all right. Absolutely adorable. Yeah, she's pretty good. So yeah, I'm not gonna hurt myself or anything. I got shit to do. Used to have fidget spinners, but honestly, they're not that great. No, I really like the fidget cubes. Not gonna lie, but the fidget spinners for you're a lucky man. I know I am. I love you. There you go. And you just let it spin. You just let it spin. And you can also spin like the other part. It doesn't spin as good, but like you can. At least yeah, it's pretty cool. You can spin for a minute too. Like it's got really good ball bearings in it. But it's pretty good. If anybody's born in 1996, he's a rat year born, and if your ex is a 1996 born, she is going to get a reality check she won't forget in life. This is going to be the worst year for the 1996 born. Get fucked. My wife was born in 96. I don't consider myself religious. Neither do I. It's alright. All are welcome at my table. We can all sit here and talk about it. I welcome all at my table. And coming to a stop. I've made it go longer before. I made it go hella long before. Give you a tick, thank you. In 1996. Just the way it is. Hey, it is what it is. Life sucks sometimes. That is an irrefutable fact of life.
You said this is going to be the worst year for people born in 1996? Yeah, the year we all turned 30.
It's just the year you all turn 30. Take that as you will, you know? That's
It's the year we all turned 30.
Turning 30 is whatever you make it. You know, from what I've learned, it's however, whatever attitude you want to have about it. There's been people who are like, I know I'm 30, you know, I'm old now or whatever. You were old when you were 28. I'm 28 and my back hurts when I wake up in the morning. But then there are other people who are more positive, like 20s is really like your adulthood trial period. You know, it's really when you grow and become an adult, and then in your 30s, you've usually got shit figured out. So, you know, it depends on how you look at it. That's life, you know? Sometimes, not always, because there's still a lot of terrible shit that happens beyond your control, but there are a lot of situations where, you know, how good or bad your year is, or your life is, or your 30s are, or whatever, can depend on you, and what you do, and what your mindset is. The old generation is better than now, Drew. Maybe. If you're a 1996 born, be very, very cautious. Don't get into relationships. Bye. It'll feel like I'm missing out on my trial period. I've been stuck in an adult childhood transitioning period for a very long time. Doom, how old are you again? You're in like your low 20s, aren't you? Like 24. The 90s. The 90s. 22. That's right. You're 22.
So young.
But for context, I've been in the exact same position in my life for the past 5 years. I mean, I'm 28 and like I still got a lot of growing up and shit to do and figuring stuff out. So like, you have time. You know, you just got out of high school. You know, like a few years ago. You just became an adult, at least by U.S. standards. You got a sore throat? Not yet. You got some stuff going on. Hey, baby.
Sore throat over here.
Hey, baby. Yeah, my daughter got really sick a few days ago. And then Taylor's gotten really sick. Gonna be my turn next. Yeah, Doom, you're only 22. You have so much time to figure that out. I have time if I get on with things, but with the direction the world is going, I don't really have time before support systems collapse and I'm unable to find independence. Sometimes you gotta fight and find a way. Sometimes in life there's gonna be a lot of brick walls where you feel like you just can't do anything about it. It's like you're just like fucked and, you know, there's not really a way forward and you just kind of gotta break through them. You know? Kitten.
No, he doesn't smoke, but he is just a man who is allergic to cats and who has a cat on him. But look at that. Look at that sweetness.
So happy. She's been cuddling with me almost this whole time. I've been trying to pound at the gates of this brick wall for 5 years. It's not something I can overcome on my own. No amount of wisdom or knowledge will allow me to beat this. There's always a way. I feel like it's taken me like 10 years since becoming an adult to start growing the fuck up. It just be like that. But I know you can find a way. You only fail if you quit. Everything can change for the better. With one good decision, maybe. There's a way, but it's outside of myself. There's nothing within myself. Perhaps, but, you know, maybe there's nobody coming to save you. That's something that I've really had to pound into my head to really help me grow up and start taking initiative in my life. There's no one coming to save you. Because I'll admit, I was one of those kids where, like, mom and dad took care of everything, you know? They scheduled my doctor's appointments, they enrolled me in school, they picked my classes. I kind of, like, half-assedly paid attention while they were doing it, to, like, give my input. Like, yeah, sure, science, I don't fucking care, you know, whatever. And I just kind of, like, floated through life. And when you grow up, and you have, you know, family and responsibilities and bills and shit, floating isn't enough. And when things struggle, you know, you can't rely on, you know, mommy and daddy or whoever else to come save you. And if there is nobody coming to save me, and if I don't take advantage of support systems before they collapse, then I'm kind of screwed. Some people fight to move forward, others drown. I'm the drowning type. That's going to come down to your mentality. I've hit a lot of brick walls in 2026 so far, and I've continued to find a way to keep smashing through them. Even when I didn't know how and felt hopeless, I kept smashing through them. And that's something you gotta find within yourself. It's so sad we're all gonna die. It's not my favorite thing, you know? It's not the best. You know, it just kinda is what it is. mentality doesn't solve everything. Very true. Sometimes we have to remember that the universe is uncaring and the narratives we construct are still subject to truth for reality. This is absolutely true. This is absolutely true. There are a lot of things that can't be overcome by mental, but you'd be surprised how many things you can overcome. With a little help from the outside can always be good too. But yeah, I mean, there are kids who still have playing a fight in them, but they're still dying of cancer. Life be like that sometimes. At the end of the day, there's a lot of things that are out of our control, and all we can do is deal with the stuff that's in our control. Your soul goes flying, if we have one. I hope we do. What do you think is going to happen when we die? It would seem that our consciousness, our us, me, consciousness, thoughts, feelings, memories, all that stuff, are a result of chemical reactions in the brain. And it would seem that when the brain stops, when we die and the brain stops working, all those chemical reactions stop. So the results of those chemical reactions, our consciousness and whatnot, just kind of stop. And from our perspective, we essentially cease to exist. I hope that's not true, but it's really all I got. Oh yeah, 100%. The way I see it, people in the vast majority of circumstances have a way to move forward, a way to hold on to hope, but sometimes the cancer is terminal. Not saying I have cancer. Yeah, no, I mean, no. And it's a good analogy, too. But I will also say there's a lot of people, and maybe this applies to you, maybe it doesn't, but there are a lot of people who can break through the particular brick wall in front of them. They just don't, because they don't think they can, or they can't really find a way. There's a lot of things that are out of our control, and there are some brick walls that we cannot get through. But there's more that we can break through than we think. Okay, so the dream don't go on, Drew, when you die, I mean, in the head. Nah. If there's not a soul or anything, and consciousness is just chemical reactions in the brain, it all just kind of, it's just kind of nothing. We just cease to exist. So fun. Really hope it's not the case. I think I'd take Christianity over that. I think I'd take hell over that, honestly. I've never really been scared of hell, even when I was a Christian, because it was just kind of weird like that. But, what can you do? I always had really low self-esteem, and it was shit on a lot as a child, so I always just thought, I don't deserve heaven, which I know the Christian narrative, nobody deserves heaven or whatever, but actually, I can be the greatest evangelist, bring everyone to Christ, and I'm still gonna end up in hell. So I just kind of accepted it from a young age. I just kind of accepted my fate and still tried to make the world a better place as much as I could, regardless of where I ended up, and still tried to bring people to Christ regardless of where I ended up. And I know that doesn't make logical sense, but depression isn't really logical. You mean shut down, essentially? Have you ever tried to read the Bible? And if you did, what books have you read in the Bible? I've read 3 different versions of the Bible and listened to an audiobook of the 4th one. Mentality, yeah, it can't solve everything, but it's so rare to see someone with a truly unshakable mentality. Most people don't even know what it is. My mental's been fucking shaken. I mean, I've been fighting this year. I busted through a lot of brick walls that I didn't know if I could get through, but fucking my head hurts. I'm tired, boss. I'm tired of this, Grandpa. Yeah, a lot of people like to overestimate just how much they think they know. They don't leave open the possibility they can surprise themselves. I just have my doubts about whatever my mind is capable of. That is in this regard. Oh yeah, I have like some of the worst self-esteem, no self-confidence, and I've just had to work on it. And I know I say it like it's nothing. It's like, yeah, I just have to work on it. No, it's been a fucking thing, but like it can be done. Drew, is she your life? My wife and daughter are my life. They're the number ones in the world for me. I've seen advice that I learned that I was supposed to work for me, work for others. Splendid. I'm sorry. I've seen advice that I learned that was supposed to work for me, work for others splendidly. Watching them move forward is a delight, but it reinforces that I'm different in some way. And sometimes we are different. You know? I mean, I look at it in the education system in this country all the time. The curriculum is typically based on what works for the majority. And there are plenty of very smart, talented kids who still get C's, D's, and F's. It's not because they're stupid. It's just because this method that works for the majority doesn't work for them. And so that's when they have to find other ways, often with help from tutors and whatnot, to find the way that works for them, and then they can excel and be top of their class. So it could just be that you're one of those, Doom. And from the inputs that you've put in this chat, in the time that I've known you, in like 2 or so years now that you've been engaging in chat and comments, your sophistication is on a different level. So perhaps you are just in that different category. And it's not like a bad, different level. It's just a different level. So it wouldn't surprise me if what works for most people doesn't work for you. It doesn't necessarily mean anything negative towards you. Is atheism true? No. No evidence that atheism is a scientific fact, more like sci-fi. Atheism is just a lack of belief in a god. It's not really any evidence. It's just like, hey, there's no good evidence for a god. And therefore we have no good reason to believe in a god. Therefore, like, why should we believe in a god, and how are we supposed to believe in a god? Why is there planets? Planets are formed from the leftover bits after a star forms. The grand why, as in like purpose and reason, I have no fucking idea. She's from Scotland. I am 19, non-binary and atheist. Hell yeah. I'm 28, non-binary, pansexual, and atheist. Not based on science. Lack of belief is an imagination. Buddy, I don't know what to tell you. Imaginary. There's a lot of people who would say that your God kind of seems imaginary. You have no evidence for it. Lack of belief is just not imaginary. It's just I don't have reason to believe in that. You've proposed a being that, for all I know and for all I can tell, is imaginary. And thus I don't have any reason to believe in it, and therefore I don't believe it. I mean, that's all just a byproduct of my efforts to get out of the hole. That's not something special to me as much as I would have my ego stroked by such a notion. The paths of wisdom are accessible to all. Well, sometimes it's the people who have to fight more that can excel better. Sometimes all the trials just build you up to just do a dead sprint once you get past those walls. At least I'd like to believe. The lack of belief is your imagination. It's just not. I really don't know how to explain. I mean, it's just not. Lack of belief is imagination. Is one of the. I'm not going to say anything mean, but no, that's just not how it works. You haven't convinced me any gods exist. That's true. Yeah. Drew, do you ever think you're God? I hope not. Yeah, Drew is live. Drew is live. What is your name? AI Fly? AI Fly? I really don't know what to do with you. AI Fly, I don't really know what you want from us. Maybe that's if I can get past the walls. If Goku can't take off the weights, then for all the strength it gives him, they become a trap and a tomb. Perhaps. Last night I had a nightmare about Donald Trump and LGBT climate breakdown. Last night I had a nightmare about Donald Trump, anti-LGBTQ, and climate breakdown, and now it's in my subconscious. Even when I try to shut it out. Great, I don't want to sleep again. Life's hard, but there's a lot of people fighting for the right thing, and there's still hope in the world. I only have a give and take relationship with God. How to fix that? You're imagining there is no deities. You're imagining there is deities. I can play this game too. You're imagining that there is deities doesn't make there be deities. I can play the exact same game. Lack of belief is not a truth claim about reality. It's just your imagination. Lack of belief is not a truth claim about reality. You're absolutely right. You nailed it. You might be like one of the closest people to get the definition of atheism. Good job. A lot of people think atheism is just a claim that there is no God. That's not what it is. It's just a lack of belief in the claim that there is a God. So in that small little sliver, you nailed it. Lack of belief is not a truth claim. Sneakers. Kind of surprised. It's just like of the odd weird things that you've been saying. You just like suddenly hit a nail on the head, and then you immediately fell off again. But like you just like you shocked me. You shocked me. What makes that lack of belief? Lack of reason to believe. I'm considering going into contact with my parents. With my parent. She is so mean. If that's what you gotta do. I mean, if you're, able to be out on your own, if you're an adult and able to be out on your own and be self-sufficient. Science doesn't prove a God. And I don't need to disprove the existence of a God. I don't need to disprove something that hasn't been proven to begin with. I just need to look and see that it has not been proven and therefore lack evidence and therefore lack belief. That's it. That's really all it is. It's not that hard. Correct, lack of belief is not a true statement, except that I truly am not convinced. Yeah. I truly am not convinced is a true statement. But yeah, you're right. Fly, I really don't know what to do for you. I mean, I don't know if you're a troll. It kind of sounds like you're an atheist trolling. I'm going to be completely honest with you. But, sorry for putting that in chat. I just don't have any more to share that with currently. It's okay. We're all kind of struggling. You've come to the right chat. A lot of us have been talking about how life kind of sucks right now. Most atheism comes from a form of, I don't believe in a God, but I also don't believe in a lack of a God. Yeah, I don't have any reason to believe there's a God, but I won't claim to know that there is one. Maybe there is one. I have no idea. I just don't believe that there is. I am probably going to end the live stream soon-ish. Just a heads up. It's a good chat. It's a good chat. I got good people that come in my chats. Y'all show up and y'all make it something special. Better than I could ever. Honestly. I don't know what I would do without some of you who regularly come in chat and make it a good live. Oh, Drew, I just came here. I just came here. Don't go just yet. I got like 15 minutes or something. Hi. Hey, Marshalls. You made it. Just in time. I need to eat food and go to sleep. Got another big day tomorrow. Default is atheism. The only logical default on any claim is to lack belief until reason to believe has been given. Should I send some delivery to your address? No. I got you. You know what I got? You know what I got? No, we're gonna talk about this for just 2 seconds. Okay, so like they got like the little bowls of like instant potatoes and like mac and cheese and stuff, like the personal ones. You put water in it and you put it in the microwave and you're good to go, like the Easy Mac and stuff. They have those for Hamburger Helper. Or like they have the noodles and then they have the flavor packets with like freeze dried meat in it, and you can tell it's been salted, but like it's actually good. It's actually not bad. Because like I get Hamburger Helper sometimes. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the recipe or me. It's completely me probably. But like I keep like I'm not doing something right. It's just soupy and greasy like every time I make it. Maybe I don't let it set long enough. I don't know. That might be it actually. But like it's not good. It's not like Mama made it. And so I don't usually get it too often because it just kind of feels like I'm wasting my money, especially because I'm really the only person in the house that eats it. So it's like I don't need an entire pot of something that like only I'm gonna eat. So it's just kind of a waste. Don't waste it on me. But I got a 4-pack of those little bowls. They're actually pretty good. Like I said, you can tell the meat has been salted because it's literally ground beef that's put in a flavor pack and put on the shelf. It does not refrigerate it or anything. But it's not bad. It's really not bad. There's no peer-reviewed paper that proves the truth claim about reality. What truth claim about reality? The only truth claim being made is that there is a God, and you're right. There's no scientific peer-reviewed anything that proves there is a God. Learn how to quiet the mind. Dude, that is real. A heavy mind will drag you down. You need to learn to tell your voice to shut up. Silencio Bruno. You need to learn to tell it to shut up. Oh yeah, those are delicious. Have you had those? They're actually pretty good.
Why did it mark this for review?
I don't know what got marked. Defend infant atheism is sci-fi parroted by atheism online. Default infant atheism is sci-fi parroted. AI, I really don't know what to say. I think you're a troll. I think you gotta be. I really hope you are. Those are so delicious. I don't know why. Those are very good. They shouldn't be, right? They shouldn't be. Those little bowls of like the Hamburger Helper, they shouldn't be. But like they are. Like, and I had like the option of like getting like an individual, like try it like a single. I was like, no, all out. Like let's just get the 4-pack. And like sometimes you take risks, and sometimes those risks pay off. And this was one of those times. Hi. Hi. It's the silent meows are like my favorite.
Oh, she's lovingly looking up at you.
And she just chirps at me. She's just silently meowing at me. And purring away. Ow! And then you just bite me.
The nipples?
Where is that necessary? That was a hard love nibbles. That was a love chomp. Full on, like my whole hand was in your mouth, or like as much as my hand just could fit. That was a love chomp. When you're an atheist, because you are prepared for what to expect and how to deal with the worst case scenario. Yeah. God isn't real, but utopia could be, maybe. Anxiety is underpinned by the fear of the unknown. It's possible. I mean, that's definitely part of it, is what I meant to say. Into the unknown. What's biting you, Drew? A cat? Yeah, evidence is important, but I actually had like an anxiety disorder. Like I would have full-on panic attacks for no reason. I guess I had trauma. Yeah, those are fun. I get those every now and then. It's alright, my cat's back too. Usually she does love nibbles. That was like a full-on just like bah. Maybe it wasn't like hard or anything. She's alright, but Snickers. Snickers. I'd imagine that's due to a general disease with existence in and of itself, which I can understand being very hard to prove to yourself that you're okay. Yeah. Dis-ease, yeah. Yeah, I've fought that mental battle. The child is coughing radically, violently. Can you go check on her? She's coughing rather violently. She's been sick. He begs for pets and bite when I don't pet him right. Snickers just likes to attack. No evidence supports the view. You heard it online and you thought it was true. Sad. I'm sure. I'm good. Was she awake at all? And why are you using it right now? Why am I using what right now? What am I using?
AI. You're using AI. That's what she's saying.
Oh,
So you admit that AI sucks, then why are you using it right now?
I've been on anxiety meds for 15 years, and I am in my early 20s. I feel like I could do with some anxiety meds in my life, not gonna lie. I mean, I'm figuring out how to manage it and shit, and, fight, overcome it, which I guess is, the better way to do it, but I'm fucking tired. If your cat is quick to aggression after you start petting them, that's not hostility, that's just your cat being overstimulated. You probably get physically uncomfortable very quickly. I mean, she's been laying on me getting pets for an hour now. She usually doesn't.
She's a cat who makes it known when she doesn't want attention. You will know when she wants attention, and she will walk away when she doesn't.
My sweet girl. I need 0 stress. That'd be nice. But unease feels like a disservice to the intensity of it. Just need a button to get rid of all my stress by clicking it. Yeah. Some homemade chicken soup. I can go for some homemade chicken soup, actually.
Oh, hell yeah.
Here, I'll give you my address live on stream.
Send us your best homemade chicken soup.
Send your best homemade chicken noodle soup to this PO box, and I'll do a live soup tasting. No, don't fucking do that. Cats, when you pet them too much, too aggressively, can feel physical pain from it. They just want the pain to stop. I can understand that feeling. The problem is that once you get on them, they have to get off them. You have to get off them eventually, and for me, it just felt like withdrawal from a drug. Yeah. Going from my place, might have to. Party at Dark Master Light's house. He's got soup. How do you explain spontaneous remission? Just because we don't understand how something works, though, doesn't mean it has to have been a god. That's the god of the gaps fallacy. It still shocks me, but good enough quality medicine is what cured my anxiety. Look a lot, though. Yeah. I mean, yeah. It's probably altering your brain chemistry, so it is a form of withdrawal, just not the addictive kind. Your body needs to adjust for being off the meds. Your order is on the way. Track your delivery here. I'm a broth guy. I love broth much more than soup. I like soup. I'm a soup guy. I like the soup. Potato soup, I think, might be my favorite. My parents make some good potato soup. Put cheese in it and some bacon bits. I don't even like bacon or bacon bits, but for some reason it's aight. Not too many bacon bits because I don't like them, but little bits aight. So hand wave and claim it is biology with 0 evidence. I didn't claim shit. I shrugged my shoulders. Potato soup is so delicious. I had cream of mushroom soup at a place once. That was actually a lot better than I thought it would be because I don't like mushrooms. Cream of mushroom soup was actually pretty good. I'm not saying I can't feel it once in a great while, but it's not like I have a disorder anymore. Yeah. I make a taste jalapeno bacon potato soup. That actually sounds really good. I hate all soup. Oh. Good to know. Nice and chill life tonight, it seems. Yeah, but I'm the only one who thinks all these medications are actually causing more problems in the long run. Who the fuck knows? Yeah, some amount of anxiety is just par for the course with being alive, but it's awesome to hear it's manageable for you now. I've gotten better. And studying Buddhism helped me. Helped me a good bit with that. What do you know? What do you know? I do think I'm going to go ahead and end the live stream there. I'm going to go make some instant personal hamburger helper and sit and go to sleep and get up and do it all again tomorrow. So thank you all so much for being here. I got to do a little bit of a longer live today because I got to go live a little bit earlier today, which was cool. I say it every single time I go live because I mean it every time I go live. I really do appreciate anyone who doesn't just scroll past my live streams. I'm a random nobody on the internet. There's no real reason anyone should stop scrolling and, not just scroll past me. But the fact that people do stop scrolling and hang out for a bit, the fact that some people stay and chat and like and comment and subscribe, and some people come back, I get reoccurring viewers. It's really, really cool, and I greatly appreciate it. Especially because I said it earlier and I mean it. You guys make the live stream. I don't. I wish I could manage my anxiety. Not even medication works. I'm sure you can find a way. Therapy helps. A lot of medications, especially as it relates to antidepressants, should be treated more like a crutch as you work on overcoming and dealing with it yourself to make it easier to work on yourself. Maybe. I usually go live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday night, somewhere between 9 and 10 p.m. Central Standard Time, and I usually go for about an hour. And yeah, hope to see y'all there. Yeah. She literally just had to readjust. She was like falling off my legs, and then I kept moving. And now she just turned around and laid down. Is that better? Is that better? Okay. Thank you for being here. I hope you all have an amazing rest of your day, night, whenever you're watching this. Bye.